Okay, folks, here we are. I think my head got away from me because I think I scheduled this and didn't show up at the time that I'd scheduled it for. I was just getting it ready for a 9 o'clock broadcast because I thought that's what time I had scheduled it for. So evidently I didn't. I am kind of confused because of all the problems that were caused yesterday because of the different problems that we had. And well, I apologize, but I'm going to get it done now. I have a roll of 1998. This is the only roll of 1998 I have. I've poured it out just to make sure that the coins were in good shape, but I haven't looked at a single one of them. I just wanted to make sure that the coins were okay. And then I've got one free chip here. Got 49 names plus one free chip. Hey, Robert Adams. I'm having a not such a great week. I think I'm going to end up having to take next week off. I'm not getting things done the best, and I need to have a little time to regroup. So I probably won't have an auction this coming week. I may do some reveals, but I won't have an auction, I don't think. But I'll announce that later on Facebook for sure. I've just got to have a little bit of time to try regrouping. All right, so I got my 50 names here. I've got my coins here in the tube. There's not going to be anything for a wrapper here because there isn't a wrapper, and I'm not going to charge you the extra shipping it would take to send a 25-cent tube. So here's the coins. They came out real nice and shiny. So wife's good for something with a scrub brush, right? No, I'm just joking. These are original. Hello, Akram. And Jessica, Jeff Dunn, Cuz Eric Bayer. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and pull out for coin number one. I've got to change how this thing is set up. Okay, coin number one will go to Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher will pick up this coin right here. These are all decent uncirculated coins. I do not know whether it is an original roll. We've got a buy starting up right there. We've got the cracks ready, but the chip isn't quite there yet. So that's an early stage buy. So that's kind of cool. Now, mostly on the 1998s, we're going to be looking for the wide AM. And this is not one of them. The close AM are the ones where the A and the M touch. Now, we also have this issue with the A in states. If it's scooted over to the right a little bit, you've got yourself a close AM. And if it's perfectly centered between the two T's, then you have a wide AM. And so the wide AM would be what we're actually looking for here. We could be looking for wavy steps. We could be looking for doubled columns. There's a number of different things to be looking for on 1998 Philadelphia Lincoln cents. Generally, most of the coins that came out with the ghost mint mark down below the date were actually mint set coins. They weren't ones that typically came in tubes and rolls. So there probably won't be any of those in here. I appreciate that, Eric. I'm a little bit out of sorts right now, and I got to get myself back into sorts. And I think I'm probably going to have to take a week off just for that. I've got to get some things situated. I've got to get some training done. There's just a lot of things I've got going on right now, and I'm trying to get everybody else ready to do business as an entity of Copper Coins. Trying to get it so that Brady will be running my eBay store, and Jessica already has an auction, and they'll both be running some Facebook stuff. I've got other people set up to stock my store, and I have to have different users for all of that and make sure that everybody has the right access to everything, and it's just kind of a complicated little bear that I'm having to deal with. And in doing that, I don't really have a whole lot of time to put inventory together for a sale. And the other thing is that even if I had a sale, I wouldn't have a whole lot of time for putting the packages together right now. So probably best that I just go ahead and take my week off now and come back to it next week ready to go. Here we go, Mr. Fletcher. Last time I took a week off was for a funeral. It wasn't a business week off. This week will be my business catch-up week. I'll work on catching everything up. May have a little flash sale here and there if I find some extra stuff that I've got laying around that I think somebody else might appreciate more than me. I'll probably put it up there for sale. I am going to have a sale of a lot of stuff and a spring cleaning sale I'll probably have sometime next month. And it's going to be a pretty large sale with a bunch of nice coins, rolls, group lots, roll groups. It's going to be pretty fun. All right, that's coin number 3 for Jim Fletcher. Here comes coin number 4. I looked through the roll before I tossed them in the zinc bin, and none of the coins from the roll that we were going to open up for this reveal had anything on them. So this gives us a second chance, and the coins are far nicer. These coins don't have all kinds of black crud on them. Last roll had a bunch of black crud all over the rolls, all over the coins. I'm looking for that shadow mint mark. Just don't typically see them in circulated or in business strike coins. Usually going to find them in mint sets. That's right, Art Ring of the RPM group sent some free push pins, or they're like coat pins, lapel pins, to give away. And well, they were given away, but it was at the very end of Jessica's auction this afternoon, and anybody who left before the very end missed it. Coin Dragon. They're kind of cute little pins. They say the RPM group on them, and they have a picture of it's actually kind of like an outline of a 1960 D RPM number 1. It's kind of cool. Oh, forgot to check one thing. Looking at the inside roof to make sure that there's not any extra roof bits up there, because I've seen those reported before. They're always nice to get if you can, those phantom mint marks. They're actually kind of cool. I need to get Farm Dog's name in that one. There's Farm Dog's name in that one. I draw another name. It's going to be Shannon McCord. Shannon McCord will end up with the next coin. Oftentimes it would be on these ones that are really shiny, like this one. This one's got a near proof-like surface. But it's not there. So we'll move on to the reverse and see what we get on the reverse. All right. Nothing of specific acclaim here. Yeah, I've got a whole lot of stuff in closets and boxes and stuff that just needs to come out and go. Partial rolls of stuff, full rolls of stuff. Diang gets the next coin. That's a nice clean looking coin right there. If I do say so myself, Diang got herself a nice one. Tell Scott you got a nice coin, Diane. Oh, look at that. I've seen something like that on another 98 plane. It has damage on the die from the feeder finger. Left large scrapes on the die, which are raised on the coin. Because if you remember, the coin is the exact opposite of the die. So if it's raised on the die, it's sunk in on the coin. And if it's sunk in on the die, then it's raised on the coin. Nothing else that I see on this one. Have to move on. Mr. Paul Hampton. How's Mr. Paul Hampton doing? All right, this one's for DN. And next up will be Farm Dog. Farm Dog goes next. So what we got here for Farm Dog. Not in particular that I can see on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. It's going to be the regular white AM. And those letters look awful fat because you have a slightly weak strike there. So the strike isn't very strong, so you're seeing the bottom area of the bevels of the lettering. So the lettering is going to look a little extra fat. That's what's going on there. Just so you know. Here to be of an informative nature for you. Let's take a look at the next coin. Next coin's going to go to Mr. Dunn. Jeff Dunn. Here we go. A lot of die scratches on this one. So I'm kind of thinking this probably is not an original roll, like an original bank roll. It's just 50 uncirculated, nice bright red coins. So somebody was probably going through bank boxes or something and pulled out all the brand new shiny ones and tubed them, which for our purposes would be just fine, because your likelihood of finding white AM coins and the minor double dies that you can find on 1998 are actually going to be higher on tubed rolls of BU coins than they would be on an original bank wrapped roll. And the reason for that is because the original bank wrap roll, you're only going to have up to about 10 dies represented in the entire roll, whereas this particular roll could be 50 different dies. And Jeff Dunn again. So sometimes it's best not to have an original roll, especially when they're in pretty good shape. This one's just a little spotty. Not too bad, though. Mr. Chambers, I see you're here and doing well. Not seeing anybody on this one, so move on to the next coin. Jeff Dunn gets this one. All right, so the next coin goes to JOB. That'd be coin number 11 goes to JOB. And here's coin number 11. A lot of really nice looking coins here. I mean, these things are pretty high luster. If it's a put together roll, it's definitely a very well put together roll. Somebody had a good eye for a gem coin. That's pretty much what these are. Nice gem coins, but I'm not seeing any die varieties in here yet. Now, there's not a whole lot of different die varieties known for 1998. There is the white AM variety, but it's on multiple different dies. And if you get one, you get one. If you don't, well, you just don't. No promises on those things, you know. Let me get JOB's name in this one, and then we'll move on to coin number 12. And I'll be pulling for that right now. And coin number 12 will go to Joe McBride. Another really shiny coin. Really nice high luster coins here. Love a little luster. Take a look at the other side here. The number of these do appear to be rather weakly struck. You've got these areas of flatness here, and directly opposite that area, right here on the bottom of the coat. And this, folks, is why you have that weakness. You're trying to fill in a lot of design area. Try to fill in a lot of design area with a weaker strike, and you're just not going to fill it in all the way. So the metal on the strike rises up a certain amount, then it just stops. Because the tolerance, the width of the space between the two dies when they strike was set too high. Or the pressure was set too low, one or the other. There's always, you don't want coin dies to slam together with a coin between them. Yeah, it could probably be set that way, but they wouldn't last very long. They give you nice, full, complete strike every single time, but they sure wouldn't last long. This whole thing about striking coins with the U.S. Mint and the way they're doing it now with billions of coins struck every year, they're having to draw it down to a really fine science of a gap of, I mean, it's worse than spark plug gapping. It's like electronic gapping. The gap that they put between the two dies at the point the coin is struck is, I mean, within a 0.5 millimeter tolerance, if more. I mean, I was a lot more than that probably, because I believe these coins are only about 1.25 millimeters thick. So you have to think about how much of a 100th of an inch the design features are in height, standing away from the negative space of the coin. That right there will give you a good idea, with the design being as thin as it is, why Lincoln's coat looks so concave, and why different parts of the design don't tend to strike up all the way. When you have a slightly weak strike, it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much at all for it to have a completely bad day. Purple? What about purple? Oh, purple packages. Jessica's got purple bubble mailers. I told her, well, those are more expensive than the other kind that you can use, and it gets your stuff there all the same. She says, yeah, but I like these. They're purple. How can you argue with that? I'm like, okay, so they're purple. Have at it. See what we got going on here. Just make sure I looked at this side, because I think I actually looked at the reverse first on this one. I went in reverse, looking at the reverse first. That's one of those conversations that never ends. Eric Beyer. Eric Beyer will get the next coin. And so far, it looks like a normal 1998 Lincoln cent. Oh, come on, camera. There we go. The camera has decided to act up a little bit today. I haven't really even used it that much today. It's just getting cantankerous for no really good reason. It's reverse. That's what it is, reverse, when you're going backwards. But it's reverse when you're looking at the back of a coin. Barney the dinosaur. Man, that's been a long time. I love you. You love me. We're a happy family. Doug Reese. Doug Reese. You know, I guess if Barney had a voice like mine, he'd be damn near scary. You know that? Barney comes out to all the little kids, bouncing around in his purple suit, and he starts talking like Batman. I'm Batman. What, if Frank want me to sing all of it? Dude, that costs money. You better break out the wallet if you want to hear me sing any more than that. And I charge big money for my concert tours. You wanna know how many concert tours I've been on? None. I'm too expensive. That's right. Jeff Stanley sees me as Barney. Hi, boys and girls. I'm here with your coins and purple packages. No, I think I'm starting to sound too much like Wally World now. Joe, you haven't missed anything, buddy. I promise. Hey, Shannon. Now we're going through this 98 roll. We've got a nice 98 roll going here. It's got a bunch of nice coins in it, but the problem is, like with usual, no die varieties. I just finished looking at your coin, Joe. Or one of them anyway. And my phone decided to update finally. Sometimes when I'm on my phone, and I don't know why this happens, it decides to only go onto the internet and update like once every hour, 2 hours. And I get so many emails, notifications, and messages, and text, and all kinds of stuff, phone calls, whatnot, that when it updates, it's like bzz, 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 for like a full 2 or 3 minutes. Big dollar, $2. That'll get us started on the concert tour for sure. Thank you, Jim Fletcher. Yeah, see, that is a nice little clash right there. That's his lips down there toward the bottom where you see the planter there on the right side of the steps and that mark above it, that's his lips. And then you curve inward for the chin and around the beard, and then you get into his throat when you get up to the top of that other column next to it. And then over here is the back of the neck. It's actually pretty nice looking. See if we can see anything in Liberty. Sometimes you can see part of Liberty there too, but I don't see any of that. I don't see no letters here though. It'd be nice if we did. I'm kind of wondering if I missed it on the other side and this was the other side that was clashed with it. I'm not seeing anything. Looks like clash marks over here though. That's strange. Why do I feel dirty? Like you guys are paying me for a concert tour. It's not going to happen. If I sing, your dogs will die all at once. I'm just not going to let that happen. I love dogs too much. Nah, it's not an indirect thing, and it's too sharp to be indirect. Indirect is something that you see on a much later die state. These are relatively early die state, and those clash marks are really sharp. Basically, what happened is the clash probably busted the obverse die, and they switched the obverse die, and that reverse die was still there. So it's probably a second pairing for that reverse die. Reverse, whatever you want to call it. All right, this one goes to Doug Reese. You see all those lines on these? This is all... It has to do with how the planchets were washed and dried, and then before they were plated, and then they were plated. And there were remnants of the wash on the planchets when they were plated in copper. So you end up with this interesting array of lines, usually running in one direction, that look like old die scratches, but they're not. If you've got linear plating blisters, they usually follow the contour of these lines. And then this over here is a little die crack running from the right corner of the cornice out through the tail of the R into the rim. They fool you into seeing columns. Yeah, kind of what you got to do is if you see what you think are doubled columns, then you back up a little bit and you look at the rest of the coin and you let what happened around the columns determine what you see in the columns. So If you've got those little lines everywhere, then you can probably discount the whole column thing. But if it's a really, really nice, smooth coin otherwise, your columns could make a difference. And it really doesn't make any difference. See, these run side to side here. And it just all has to do with what direction the planchet was running when it was washed and dried, and then what direction the planchet was running when it was minted. So there's not really any upside or downside to these. And it doesn't generally affect grading. In fact, I've seen coins grade 67, 68 with lines like these on them, as long as there's no other flaws on the coins. So this would be considered a as-struck anomaly on the coin, meaning that if you have an MS-70 coin, it's supposed to be a very sharply struck coin as struck. Yeah, the 94 columns are a little more difficult to find. I've actually been looking for those and never found one. A little bit of machine doubling there on the edge of the 8. Just a tiny bit. It's either that or a reflection off the rim. Could have been a reflection. Got nothing here. I'm going to move over to the other side and see what happened there. Ooh, linear plating blister. And your lines are probably, see all the little tiny lines that are running in that same direction? All of those little lines have to do with the same basic thing. See all the little tiny lines there? So you get up here, and this plating blister runs in the same direction as all those other little lines. Well, that's just where the contaminants happen to sit before the coin was plated. And when it was plated with copper, the zinc kind of rotted out from underneath and made the copper bubble up. So there's actually corrosion going on underneath there. Not the 1983 double die you want. Hint, hint. Corrosion on the inside of a coin will eventually come outside. A reschedule for, let's see. I'll get Sherman to Helling, that's for sure. I'm sorry, JLB, I missed something. I'm trying to figure out what you're asking about a reschedule. You mean for the auction? You've been sitting on a blank screen. Oh, well, are you here now? Because I have a coin for you. I just drew your name. Want to make sure we got everything clear before before I walk in, and you got your eyes closed. So here we are. This is JOB's coin right here. Thought we were rescheduling because he was looking at a blank screen. So I wonder how long can I entertain you guys looking at a blank screen before you give up? I bet most of you gave up before I came in. What time did I have this scheduled for? Because I thought it was scheduled for 9 o'clock, and as soon as I came in to check the time that it was scheduled for, it changed to 8:40, which was what time it actually was at the time, so I just went ahead and hit go live. These are not the droids you're looking for. Move along. Luke, I am your father. Got nothing going on there. It was for 8 o'clock? Oh my God, and I was 30, 40 minutes late? Oh, I thought I had it scheduled for 9. I'm sorry, folks. But we're all picked up and ready to go now. I hope nobody missed it because it was scheduled for an hour earlier than I planned on doing it. I don't know where my head went. So that's what I mean. I've been kind of out of it a little bit. Since yesterday, I had basically two dummy rolls I had to make up for. I don't think I've run into a variety, other than one of the makeup rolls, I don't think I've run into a variety in the last 2 or 3 days. Just been a kind of a bad couple of days. Why are my 72S varieties so limited on copper coins? Because I don't know of any others. There's a 1972S double die obverse that I know of, maybe a couple of RPMs, but I can't really remember them right now. If you have somebody else's listing and they're putting all those little extra tails on the 2 in as double dies, I kind of disagree with some of those. So I'm not going to list the really, really minor stuff just to have a list of double dies. Why, did you find one that was listed somewhere else and it's not listed on mine? There we go. And I do not have COVID-19, folks. Oh, looky there. A nice little grease struck. Barely read the date on that one. Real weak in a lot of areas of the coin. But the date, you can barely read the last digit of the date there. All right, let's take a look at the other side. Well, it has the same basic issue. That's why a lot of the letters are misshapen. Okay. Got nothing else going on there, but that's for Doug Reese. Did I answer your question, Shannon? I hope I did. Maybe Shannon's busy typing out another question. Jeff Dunn. Jeff Dunn gets the next one in the roll. Gonna have a happy little coin living right over here. It's got little stripes on it. It's just so proud and shiny. Grease-filled dies, generally not. They're way too common. Unless your coin is basically missing almost all of its outer design. It has to be something really dramatic. And even then, you're talking about something that has a very mild premium value. But for the most part, grease-filled dies are just way too common. You'll find them pretty much everywhere. Especially in a modern sense. Maybe I'll paint me a little bird. Right over here to go chirp, chirp, chirp. Here we go, Mr. Worley. Mr. Worley's 1998 Lincoln cent looks very much like the others. A little bit of split plating on the outside of the E. Split plating happens when you have a pressure overstrike on the coin. And what happens is the pressure causes the plating, the copper plating, which is ultra thin on the coin, to split open while a strike is happening. And oftentimes, like with earlier 80s stuff that's zinc, that has mint marks, it'll hit that mint mark, and the mint mark may not be punched in completely straight and plumb the way it's supposed to be, and you'll have a shear edge. And what that'll do is it'll cut that plating, and then the coin is exposed to the outside air and water and oil and whatever else they're exposed to, and they end up rotting, usually on the outside edge of the mint mark. And that confuses a lot of people, because what happens is the zinc bubbles up and blisters, pushes the copper plating out. You got the zinc core pushing through the copper plating, and it looks almost like the mint mark is doubled. But alas, it is not. That's right, dead coin circulating. There's another one of those clashes. This one's a little bit cleaned up, but you can still see clash marks in the same areas. This one's actually showing some of the forehead coming up right here. You see some of the forehead above the N of cent. Wow, the N of cent. That sounds almost like innocent. It's the N of cent. Reverse. All right, got nothing going on there. Let's move on to the next coin. That one's for Deanne. She's got herself a nice little clash. And clashes also aren't generally of any value unless they're quite dramatic. They have to be kind of dramatic and show up really, really nice. Mr. Worley. Mr. Worley, this is your coin. I am the great Oz. Will grading companies take off for split plating? You bet they will. It's basically considered damage to the coin. They probably won't grade split plating if they're really smart about it, because they have to guarantee whatever grade they put on the coin, and it will turn in the holder. That split plating will continue to change as that coin ages in the holder. And I've seen coins in holders start really corroding, like really bad black spots, kind of like that 98 roll that we opened yesterday, on coins that are graded MS66 red. And I kind of look at it and just shake my head. Like, somebody submitted a coin they probably shouldn't have submitted. They got a nice grade on it for the time, but it's not going to stay that way. Silence, whippersnapper. If I only had a brain. You guys are going to get me to a point where I'm going to have enough seconds in singing that you're going to have to pay for the concert tour. You don't want that to happen. The concert tours are expensive, and I don't want you to have to leave. We got 25 people in here right now. We got 12 likes. So that means we have 13 people who either don't like what they're seeing or forgot to hit that like button. Pound that like button, make it turn blue, and that helps me. Here's how it helps me. It doesn't pay me anything directly. I don't get any money from it. But what it does do is it helps my overall watch hours algorithm with YouTube. And when you search a term like coin roll hunting, it helps put my videos farther up to the top. When the videos go farther up to the top and the paid revenue shows a commercial, that's an impression on the commercial. If I get enough hundreds of impressions, I earn a penny from Google. Over a month's time, with enough hundreds of impressions, I can earn a little bit of money from Google because they're showing you ads that you get to X off of. But those likes are an important part of all that. Doesn't cost anybody any money. Except eventually Google. Wife said something about searching something on Google the other day, and her phone lit up and started making noise. What was your phone getting all excited for? And she said, oh, spot on there, it needs to come off. Nope, that's not going to come off. Bummer. And she said, I said the word Google, and there it lit up again. I said, well, maybe you should stop saying that. Your phone's getting all excited about it. And she said, well, if I say it, it comes up and helps me with a search. And I said, well, what if you don't want it to help you with a search? She said, there's not really a whole lot I can do about that. I said, okay, I'm getting ready to go down for lunch. As I was walking out the door, I said, hey, Google. Going through a roll, checking your site and Wexler's, and had 4 best of 1 proof and 3 business strike that are pretty nice, and your site only has 1. Yeah, the proof one is the really nice one. I've not had a chance to photograph one of those yet, I don't believe. Hey, Google. I know I can do that to people. My phone doesn't do that because it's either... Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it did. Okay. I didn't know my phone would even do that. But it did. It just came on and told me that YouTube has a result. I don't care what result YouTube has. Explain explain, what can I say to explain? Deoxyribonucleic acid? How about post-digitation? Hey Google, spell quinquennially.
Quinally is spelled Q-U-I-N-N-E-L-L-Y.
You're wrong, because I didn't say that. No, Mr. Gibbs, no good finds yet. We're just kind of playing around with this roll. We haven't found anything of higher value yet. We're just waiting for you to show up, and here you are, finally. I don't want to show anybody anything good without you being here. Darn it. Got a spot. It's a spot. I don't like spots. $23 to ship it? Well, $14 for shipping. Well, I can imagine that because it's a hazardous liquid. They have to pay extra for the license to ship hazardous liquids. That's why the postal clerk, when you take your package in there to ship it, they say, is there anything liquid, perishable, or potentially hazardous in your package? Did you pack it yourself? No. My dog packed it. I hope there's nothing hazardous in there. I took him outside right before he did it, so I guess that would probably answer that question now, wouldn't it? Hello, Paula Bloom. We're looking for goodies, and we haven't found one yet. 1998 roll. Doubling occurs on the top of a 5 of a 1952 descent. Probably going to be machine doubling and nothing else. No notification. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what has to be done. Jeff Dunn. Jeff Dunn will get this coin right here. Oh, he has warts. More than just the normal one. This is the same die as another one I've seen. This could be an original roll. I've seen that die scratch right there underneath the RU of Trust. I saw that exact same die scratch on another coin that came out of this roll. At least one other one. Let's see, what do we have here? Nothing up my sleeve, boys and girls. You know. Okay, so my goggle finally decided to shut up. I didn't realize that my phone would do that. All right, coin number 38 in the roll. We'll go to Doug Reese. We have what could be an original roll, may not be an original roll, because we've got some coins that are matching die to die, but we've got other coins that don't look like they're part of the same roll. Either way, there should have been a pretty decent chance that we could find some white AMs in here, but it just didn't happen. White AMs are kind of scarce on 98, so I could see looking through 10 rolls and not really finding much, maybe 1, 2. Of course, if you get the right source, you can get yourself a mint seal bag. Open it up and you end up with about 500 of them. I don't know of anything that is doubled at all ever on a 1952D Lincoln Cent, top of the 5. I don't know of anything. I mean, sure, it could be hub doubling, but it would need to follow all the characteristic rules of hub doubling. It would have to be raised. It would have to not be cut in. It would have to add to the overall profile of the digit. And it would have to have some sort of defining characteristic in another spot that shows that you've got what you've got. Generally, if you have doubling on any letter on the coin, you're going to have doubling on more than one letter, because the doubling is not ever going to be relegated down to one small area of a coin unless it's right in the center. Right in the center will do that. Other than that, generally not. Or a tilted hub doubling, which would be right along the rim. But any digit on the inside of a date, if you got one digit doubled, you're going to have all the digits doubled in order for it to be a doubled die. Oh, does your goggle speak up on your laptop too? That would drive me plain nuts. Yep, I'd be nutso. End of the day, they'd be rolling me out and put me in the back of a wagon to take me to bed. Yeah, I think that just about be enough to have me throwing a laptop through a window. Jim Fletcher. Jim Fletcher will get coin number 41, and this is coin number 41. We have a 1998 Lincoln cent, boys and girls. And come on, you gotta love it. It's a cute coin. It tried. Just didn't quite make it to the big time. Let's see. Yeah, see, I've never used the whole Cortana thing. I kind of quit Microsoft before any of that ever happened. I have Windows 10 on my computer, but I've got everything shut down on it. I just use it as an OS. I don't want Windows in my computer. I don't want their Cortana crap, and I don't use IE. Virtual duct tape. Okay. I'm intrigued. Somebody has to tell me now what virtual duct tape means. Joe McBride. So many people in here listen to me like on speakers where other people hear it. You know, like their significant others listen to the broadcast with you. I never really even imagined that would ever happen. What do they say about me? Disable process. I got it. You listen to me on your phone, and your kids and Dusty usually around, and they hear me on my broadcast. I didn't check that for a wide AM. I should have. It's not. In a room by yourself. So I've seen a couple of different times people would make a comment, something about, even that made my wife laugh. I think, or on what I'm saying. What do I speak a foreign language, or is it just the technical terminology? What am I saying? Chuck is in my house again. Not sure that's a bad thing, but I'm going to let him be the judge of that. I hope it's not a bad thing. You didn't see any scratches on the reverse. Okay, I like that. Terminology. Okay. I get it. That's the same thing that, you know, my wife is on the phone with the people at work, and she's talking about terminology in her profession, and they lose me real fast, because I don't know much about what she does, and I don't really need to know a whole lot about what she does. All I know is that she's a rock star at it, and that's about as far as it goes for me. I've seen the machine she uses, and I've seen the images that come out of it. But it's a lot more complicated than I'm willing to get into. Harmy Lou? Your wife does Harmy Lou? What is Harmy Lou? Paul Hampton. Paul Hampton will get the next coin in the roll. This is actually a really nice coin right here. You know, until I ran into that. Maybe I should quit saying something before I get done with the coin. Then I can say at the end, wow, that was a really nice coin. Here's you laughing. Am I that funny? Or I'm just fun to laugh at? Can we please watch TV and not coin stuff? Yeah. Sometimes it's more for the work. Just being able to get the job done. No noise right now? You mean behind me? Yeah, the air conditioner's not running. So it doesn't sound like a wind tunnel in here. Adam Chambers. Operator error. Well, Jeff's got that one all figured out. Jeff Stanley, the winner for $450. Congratulations, sir. She'd be like ready to choke on her cake. You spent what? I know Paul Hampton's under the same kind of, I guess, rules. Gotta sneak all the packages around Mama. It's almost like when you're, oh, look at that. We got our freebie. There it is. That's going to go to Adam Chambers. And there's Adam. And here's his coin. Yeah, so you just closed the door, huh? It's amazing that I'm the kind of person that sends stuff out to people that makes you reminisce about your days as a teenager when you used to sneak porno mags around your mother. What you got there? Oh, nothing. No, really, what you got there? Oh, no, it's just homework. Call you by a code. I think I did that one time. From now on, Paul Hampton, you will become Ring Toss. And Ring Toss wins. That's right, fishing magazines. Eric Beyer. I wish I had found a good one. But alas, I did not. We're up to coin number 48 right now. We have 2 coins left in the roll. And I'm just about at a point where I'm going to call it. Of course, I've got to get to that point. That's going to be after coin number 50. There's a hornet's nest up there in that one. It's a little die chip on the side of the column number 4. Not too uncommon for this date. They do happen. No door to close and she sits 6 feet from you. Hello, Mrs. Hampton. Paul's being a good boy. Eric Bayer gets coin number 49. This is next to the last coin in the roll. Let's see what we get there. We all have to have fun with it. If we don't have fun with it, it's not worth doing. My son's 23 years old now, going on 45. And when he was a teenager, I told him I didn't mind him bringing porn into the house. He just had to show it to me first. I don't think I ever had a problem with it. Never brought any to me. That's one way to be a parent. You have all of it you want. Just bring it to me first. I mean, how many of us would actually show our mom or our dad our best porno mags, right? Of course, any more kids don't even know what the magazines are. I'm not even sure they still sell them. They did when I was a kid, though. All right, that's coin number 50. We're done with all 50 coins in the roll. Unfortunately, we didn't find anything tasty, but we didn't get toasted either. I got 50 pretty decent coins out of that roll. But it was a roll I had never been through. It was from a source that I got from Florida, where I got a whole lot of coin rolls with that. And in going through a couple of the other rolls in that box, I found some decent stuff in there that proved to me that these rolls had never been looked through for anything good. Val says hi. Doesn't believe a word about you being good. You know what? I'm not one to tell stories out of school, but I don't lie about what I think about people. Paul's a good guy. He's one of the good ones. You can keep him, Val. He's a good one. Delete your dating app. He's the one you want. We got 28 watching, and I'm showing 21 likes. Now I've got 22. When are we going to have 28 likes? All you people sitting back there in the background just listening should come up and mash that like button for me. You got 23 now. I see this stuff live as it happens. Because evidently Paul Hampton's machine shows one more than mine does. But I appreciate it, folks. It's Sunday night. How many of you are not going to work in the morning like you normally would be? Anybody got I'm sure some of you are on curfew because, heck, a third of the country is on curfew. Yeah, James Worley for sure. Now, I saw a guy, I saw a thing, it was a little film of this guy looking at the camera, and a voice came on and said, "Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, you are being quarantined. Would you prefer A, being quarantined with your wife and child, or B," he said, B, definitely B. I just thought that was funny. You're an essential. KC has a stay-in-place order. I deliver radioactive glucose. What do you use radioactive glucose for? Do 100% of your work from home? I can do that. Well, that's what I'm doing right now, right? PET scanners. Okay. Well, folks, I wish you all a great Monday and have a good night. And I will see you, let's see. I'm thinking about coming on Tuesday and doing like my auction anyway, only not quite the auction, and probably just run some reveals for sale. I'm thinking about doing that Tuesday. So disregard what I said earlier about canceling Tuesday. I'll do something on Tuesday, even if it's just a hangout. But I'll be here at 8 o'clock Tuesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And we could talk about it then. Okay? I appreciate it, folks. You guys have a great night. And I'll see you on the other side.